Hello everyone, and welcome to Everything Star Wars. I'm your host, Rob. Good to see you here. Thank you to all my subscribers, my family members. What? You're here for the first time? Well, that is wonderful. Why don't you hit that subscribe button and notification bell down below so I can continue to give you Everything Star Wars. Welcome to the show, everyone. Today we're going to talk about Star Wars Resistance, episode number 3. So overall, I have to say, this wasn't as goofy. There was one goofy scene, but this episode got very, very, very interesting. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was more mature. And it was one goofy part. My daughter laughed about it, but it really was much better, if you ask me. And I think it's starting to, if it stays this path, it could get really good. So I enjoyed it, and I'm going to tell you all about it right now with what I wrote down. So basically, episode starts off with Kaz working on an engine. And he's just having a bunch of problems. He's like, are you ready to be impressed? And the thing doesn't work. And Tam, who's the other mechanic's like, oh yeah, I'm so impressed. Like, great job. So there's a race going, and Kaz wants to go see the race. So he can't because Yeager tells him, listen, you got to finish this engine, Kaz. You can't just walk away from it. This is part of your job. So Nico and Tam go to watch the race. Now, keep in mind, it's not like their facility is like an auto mechanics facility. It's just like, it's a really open area, which I kind of don't get, because, I don't know, it's just wide open area. So anyway, they kind of just have to walk maybe like 100 feet to watch the race. It's not far. So what does Kaz do? All right, I'll just take the engine with me, go about 100 feet with the engine, and I'll work on it while watching the race. Well, Kaz is watching the race all right, but he doesn't watch the engine. And the engine's on a mechanical part, which just, he didn't put the brake on it, and it's just going and going and going. BB-8's like, come on, hey, wake up, buddy. Too late, the engine falls into the water. So Kaz is already in trouble. They pull it out from the water, and Yeager's, of course, is ticked off and telling him, come on, man. I'm sorry, I'm not a mechanic. I'm a spy for the Resistance. He said, I'm sorry if that inconveniences you, Yeager. And he walks away, and Kaz is mad, and Yeager's mad, so they're both angry. So he walks into the bar, the cantina, whatever it's called. And he meets some guy named Rucklin. His name is Jace Rucklin. This is played by Elijah Woods. Okay, you might know Elijah Wood from The Lord of the Rings. Elijah Wood. So he's the character. And Kaz finds out a little bit about Yeager that he didn't know before. He finds out that he was once a very good racer. That intrigues his interest. Like, yeah, really? He was a racer? I thought he was always a mechanic. I didn't know he raced. So anyway, Jace tells him, hey, you want to race? So they go on these bikes. These, I guess, instead of speeder, they look like speeder bikes. They remind me from Endor, but they're for the water. So they race on the water, and Kaz takes the lead, and all of a sudden, it's got a problem. It's not exploding, but there's a definite problem. Smoke coming out of it. He can't stop it. The brake won't work. So this guy, Jace, saves him, First he's joking around. He's like, oh, you're joking around. Come on, you're trying to pull my leg. He said, no, seriously, help me. So he helps him. He saves Kaz. And he says, I guess I'll owe you a bike. He's like, no, this is what friends do. And then, so later Kaz walks away. He's upset. And he's like, okay, now we got this guy right where we want him. So he goes back to the shop. And Rucklin goes to his shop. Rucklin tells his crew that they did a good job messing up the bike. So they're trying to gain Kaz's trust. So they want something, apparently, out of Kaz. With this being said, Kaz returns back to Rucklin's crew. He just wants to, I guess he feels comfortable with them, and he doesn't feel so comfortable with Yeager. They convince Kaz to go check out Yeager's hangar. And they want to check out his ship. At least this is what they tell Kaz. But really, this is hyperfuel. So what happens is that Jace steals the hyperfuel to use for his ship because he figures if he uses the hyperfuel, he could actually win the race. What he doesn't realize is this hyperfuel is very explosive stuff. So Kaz doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know he steals anything. And while Kaz is distracted in all this because he finds out through some pictures that not only was Yeager, a racer, he could see all his trophies there. And remember, he's never been in his secret garage before. So he sees all his trophies. He sees through a picture that he was in the rebellion and he fought in the Battle of Jakku. And if you don't know what the Battle of Jakku is, I'll put a video in the description below. So he finds out he was in the Battle of Jakku, fought for the rebellion, and that Yeager had a family. So he's finding things out about Yeager that Yeager doesn't tell him. And now he's kind of feeling a little guilty because he's like, man, we shouldn't be here. Let's get out of here. So the guy Jace, anyway, takes the fuel, steals the fuel. This robot bucket comes and tells them that the fuel has been stolen. And his cat's like, what? Wait a minute, what do you mean stolen? Where was it stolen from? And then he realizes, oh my God, he stole the hyperfuel. So he runs, because this guy's about to enter his ship in the race and go race. So this is where the goofy part comes in. So Kaz falls on the ship, and the cockpit opens up, and they're battling, and the seat gets ejected, because he hits it. Because they're battling behind, so he gets pushed, and he hits the button. And they get ejected, and it's a little silly scene, but anyway. And the ship explodes. So basically, Kaz just saved this guy's life. He would have been dead. So BB-8 saves them because there was no parachute, because, it was too heavy. I didn't put a parachute in the seat. So about to fall in the water, BB-8 saves them with Yeager. So Yeager pulls them in, and they thank Yeager, and he's like, listen, I can explain everything. And then this guy, Jace, instead of being thankful, he's all mad at him and says, Kaz, I'm going to get you back for this. You haven't seen the last of me, And now Kaz feels real bad because here he is. He saved the guy's life, and he was already used by this guy, So it's pretty messed up. But it's a good episode. And what this basically tells me, so then at the end, Yeager tells him, okay, listen, you got to clean these parts for me. And then there's another race going on. So Kaz is like, all right, this time I'm not going to mess up. I'm going to clean these parts, and that's it. And they're like, yeah, but he didn't say you can't clean him outside. So Yeager's, letting him watch the race, just do your job. And of course, Kaz messes up yet again, and the parts fall off the ship. And he's back to the same thing he did with the engine. So that's how it ends. So it's pretty cool. So this gave me... There was two messages I got from this show. First of all, don't trust anybody. If someone's being very, very nice to you, extremely nice, be careful. Keep your eyes open. They might not be all they seem to be. They might be wanting something from you. So, that's a good life lesson. And the other life lesson is no good deed goes unpunished. And here in this episode, what does Kaz do? He saves this guy's life. So what does this guy do? He wants revenge because his ship got blown up. Not that you saved your life, but because your ship got blown up. Really? So it goes to show you how ungrateful this guy was. And first of all, this guy being way underhanded. He's the one who stole the rocket fuel. He's the one who used Kaz. He's the one who rigged the bike. So you got to be careful who you trust. And remember, not all your good deeds don't go unpunished. So that was the episode. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good, except for there was one goofy scene. My daughter was laughing with the ship part. But besides that, overall, I thought it was very good, and I'm starting to enjoy the show. I'm not saying it's the greatest show I've ever seen. I'm not saying I'm dying for the next episode that's going to make a difference in the Star Wars universe. But it's interesting we got to know a little bit more about Yeager that we didn't know about before. And I think that's pretty cool. So anyway, this is just my opinion. I'll be, checking out the next episode. Every Monday, I'll be doing a review unless it's a repeat. Then there's no sense in doing any kind of review. So this is Rob Delavis for all of us love everything Star Wars. Tell me in the comments section below, are you watching Star Wars Resistance? And if you are, what do you think of it? Or about my reviews, what do you think of the show? You let me know. Next video, we're going to go over the characters of Star Wars Resistance. So those of you who haven't watched the show yet, and you're watching my reviews, you'll know who the characters are. Thank you for tuning in. Give me a like. Always appreciate it. Comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Thank you very much. I love you guys. You guys mean the world to me. And if you watched my live streams, you would know that. So why don't you watch my live streams when I have one? Because I'd love to have you be a part of it. We've had a lot of fun, and you guys are the ones that make it terrific. So come join the live streams. You won't regret it. You'll have a blast. You may even meet some really cool people and cool creators also. I'll see you in the next episode. We're going to do Star Wars Resistance characters. Coming up next. Take care, everyone.